affected areas. For the recommended period, you really do have to leave it. You will find that in a few days, these should relieve the symptoms for you. Right, well, that's certainly good to know, and let's hope that that clears up that unpleasant itching for you, Susan. I really do sympathise with you on that one. I once had an absolutely horrendous attack of the crabs. I made the dreadful mistake of booking into a rather cut-price hotel, shall we say, and I'm afraid those prices really were too good to be true. It was an absolute dive of a place, and because I do tend to sleep in the buff, especially when I've had a few too many, I must have caught the little blighters off the bedsheets. But I can thoroughly recommend the lotion that you're using, Susan. But as Dr. David just said, you do need to leave it on a wee while for it to take full effect. Right, well, that pretty much wraps things up here on Sanderson's Surgery this morning. As usual, many thanks to Dr. David for all his helpful advice. Just before you go, David, I'd like to get your opinion on something, if you don't mind. A few nights back, I was watching a film on the television, the Horror Channel, actually. Amazing the kind of stuff that gets broadcast on terrestrial TV these days. Heaven knows what Mary Whitehouse would have made of it all. And in this film, this lunatic surgeon gets the nutty idea of stitching together 3 people mouth to anus, linked together by a common digestive system. As a doctor, is that medically feasible?
Well, that's a little wide of my remit for this particular slot, I think. Dougie, I'm not a film critic. If you want me to act as some kind of Mark Commode, you'll have to up my fee a little.
Well, the typical private doctor, it's all about the readies. No, but seriously, casting all ethics aside, if you were some kind of loopy Mengele type, say, could you physically construct a human centipede?
Well, if ethics were not a consideration, then yes, I suppose. The procedure which you describe would technically be feasible. The risk of tissue infection...
I'm afraid I'll have to stop you there, David. We really are out of time this morning, but you heard it here first. A human centipede is medically feasible. I'm sure that will settle an awful lot of barroom arguments. And if you're listening, Gary, that's 20 quid you owe me, by the way, pal. Not that we're advocating the construction of a human centipede, of course. In fact, that's pretty much the premise of the sequel. This bug-eyed, demented dwarf sets about knocking up a human centipede in a do-it-yourself style fashion, using gaffer tape and a staple gun, amongst other things. Though I have to say, I felt a little bit shortchanged by the sequel. Black and white these days, I mean, come on, guys. I'm sure the budget would have stretched to some colour film stock. Anyway, enough of human centipedes. Let's get the weather.